We're continuing to follow the demands for police reforms after the police beating that led to the death of 29-year-old Tyree Nichols. Speaking to Meet the Press Sunday, Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan says he's unsure what reforms would have made a difference in this case.
We'll look at what we think makes sense to help this, to make sure they have the proper training. But no amount of training is going to change what we saw in that video.
Joining us to share his insight is someone who knows law enforcement very well. Dr. Patrick Oliver has 27 years of law enforcement experience and is now the Director of Criminal Justice Program at Cedarville University. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Oliver. Let's start with what Congressman Jordan said right there. He said that no laws or reform could stop the evil, as he called it, of that beating. What's your response to that?
Fundamentally, I agree with him, because when you look at most police misconduct, it really comes down to the conduct and character of the officer or officers involved. So law enforcement agencies need to do character-based hiring.
Now, the unit, these 5 police officers that have since been fired, were part of what's called a Scorpion unit. That unit's since been disbanded. But what is the mission of units like this, Dr. Oliver, and how do you supervise them?
This type of unit is called a saturation unit. Saturation units are used in major cities, mid-major cities, when they have high crime areas, and they saturate an excessive number of police officers in that area to confront and deal with crime problems. Many of these officers work undercover or in fatigues, and they have supervisors that oversee what they do. And so what they're trying to do is suppress and prevent crime that occurs in those areas.
Well, 6 officers from that incident have been fired. 5 of them are facing second-degree murder as well as other charges. What do you make of how the Memphis Police Department has handled this case so far?
I think the city of Memphis and the Memphis Police Department handled this case superbly in responding to what happened. They did an investigation. They conducted it very quickly. They terminated all 5 officers involved. Then the Shelby County Prosecutor's Office indicted all 5 officers with second-degree murder and plus other charges. So before they released the video to the public, they reviewed the video, they conducted their investigation, they did their criminal investigation, they took action. So when the video was released, the public didn't have to ask, what is the police department going to do about this? What is the county prosecutors going to do about this? So I think their handling of it was excellent.
You know, Dr. Oliver, so many people watch that video and say, why didn't somebody intervene once it started? What is the duty of police officers when it comes to intervention once a situation like this begins to unfold?
Every police department in America should have a duty to intervene or duty to intercede policy. That policy requires that every law enforcement officer step in and prevent another officer from violating the protected civil rights of an individual. So they have a duty to stop their fellow officer and keep the person who's the suspect safe from officers. They also have a responsibility to provide first aid if needed.
Well, let's go back to when they're hired in the first place, and I'm wondering if maybe there is an impact on the hiring process now that can be, I don't know, changed to a certain degree to weed out some potential bad apples. So what's being done?
Well, I will tell you, in the state of Ohio, under Governor Mike DeWine, he established the Office of Law Enforcement Recruitment. I'm a part of that office, and the focus is on hiring. And so there's certain things we look for in quality officers. We look for people with high moral character, people who are service-oriented, individuals who are good with people who are team players, those who basically have a good work ethic, they're performance-driven, and those individuals who are have self-control. When things get out of control, they maintain self-control. So those 6 criteria, I think, are most important. Law enforcement agencies need to focus on character-based hiring.
Yeah, certainly a lot of answers on that video that we saw. A lot of things get out of control. Dr. Patrick Oliver, Director of Criminal Justice Program at Cedarville University. Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Oliver.
You're welcome, John.